Hey guys, Todd James back at you again. Uh, Another video here. I'm actually, really gratified and appreciative of all the comments I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of questions, and for the first time, I'm actually getting quite a few questions off of YouTube. I mean, I was originally a YouTuber years ago. My channel got hacked about 4 or 5 years back, and I never really tried to rebuild it. I kind of made the jump over to TikTok and Instagram. And now that I've been back on YouTube, I'm not putting a huge amount of effort into it. I mean, you can tell by the videos, I'm kind of going with a vlogging style, just kind of a shoot from the hip video style. I'm not trying to impress anybody with looks or my cinematography. I can't even talk today, cinematography. But, I'm trying to, for those of you who are willing to pay attention and give me a few minutes, I'm trying to share some valuable information with you about how to be more successful in running your Amazon business or running any type of e-com business, because that's been what I've done for about 27 or 28 years now, and I've been hugely successful at it. And I'm just trying to give back something to the community. So with that said, I appreciate all the questions. I definitely appreciate people that are subscribing to the channel. I see a lot of viewers that are not subscribed, and I'll tell you, if you would hit that little button, it would sure help us out. It doesn't cost you a penny. But anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody, and with that said, I want to get on to today's topic, which is a question that I thought I'd answered, and I probably have made a dozen videos on this subject matter over the last 5 or 6 years. But really the question is, what is it? What do I mean when I talk about niching down or narrowing your funnel to select the niche that you're going to sell in? And a lot of people, I think I'm trying to kind of put this into words that will make sense. I think a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to go to Walmart, and anything that's in Walmart, that's my niche. Well, that niche, that's a niche of sorts. I mean, Walmart sells about 1 million products in one of their superstores. Several of the big databases that track consumer products, they typically track about 3.5 million products. So it is fair to say that, in a sense, Walmart is niching down. So if you said, I'm just going to sell whatever I find in Walmart, that's a niche of sorts. But trust me, it gets much more focused than that, and you need to be much more focused than that if you're going to be successful. I mean, by that I mean, if you don't have deep pockets and you are not ready to compete head to head with Walmart, you need to pick something in the store you want to sell, but not the whole store itself. So a lot of people gravitate, for whatever reason, towards sporting goods. So they say, okay, my niche is going to be sporting goods. Once again, that's an incredibly broad subject. Even if you said you're going to sell tents, that's an incredibly broad niche. You could just sell two-person tents. You could sell what are they called, bivy tents or bivouac tents, the single-person tent for people that do ultralight camping. You could sell inflatable tents, and even there, break it down into different size groups. They have family-size inflatable tents that are multi-rooms. They have inflatable tents that are designed for 2 people. You really have to think about your end user, and by limiting yourself to a very tight niche like that, ultimately you will become a subject matter expert. So people will seek you out when they are looking for a 2-person tent, or when they're looking for an ultralight backpacking tent. And once you get to the point where you have an established clientele for your initial product, there's nothing wrong with you adding another product on top of that. But your initial niche should be very, very tightly focused. There's plenty of people out there looking for a lightweight, single-person backpacking tent that, if you can enter into that market segment and present your product in a way that's attractive to buyers, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But there's an opportunity there for you to make a lot of money. Just to give you another example, say you want to sell baby products. Well, again, massive subject, massive niche, massive segment in consumer product goods. So you say, okay, well, I'm going to sell cribs. Okay, still very, very broad. How about you say, I'm going to sell cribs designed for twins. I'm going to sell oversized cribs, or cribs specifically labeled and manufactured for the purpose of providing a sleeping location for twins. Parents that have two kids, parents that have twins, have unique experiences with those twins. For that matter, parents that have two children that are closely, are not, well, I started to say closely separated, that doesn't make sense, but who are only maybe a year and a half or 2 years apart in age, they are de facto twins in a lot of ways. And that is a specific segment of the market that you can sell to. And you can take it down even further than that. Thinking in terms of older kids, I've dealt some in the realm of like adolescent counseling, and I know adolescents are not babies, but parents of twins that are adolescents have difficulties that are not necessarily apparent to other parents. Let's just put it that way. And they are frequently looking for activities that their twins can do together to maintain a bond that twins usually have through their formative years. But a lot of times the twins kind of maybe go their separate ways as they reach adolescence. And a lot of parents see that, and they would prefer that the twins nurture the bond that they built up over the years. So you could sell toys or games or activities of one type or another that are designed to strengthen that relationship that twins have. And you might very well be selling something that already exists, but what you're doing is you're presenting this to a different market, to a new market that may not have found this on their own had it not been put in front of them. And therein lies the rub. That's where you get creative with stuff. And I'll give you an example from personal experience. About 10 years ago, I started selling mattresses via Amazon. And you saw all the mattresses that were infused with green tea, the ones that were made of bamboo, the ones that had cooling gel. Some were purple, some were green, some were blue. You have all these different things. But I'll tell you something, as an individual, me personally, who has had a lifelong sleeping disorder, I am nocturnal. I basically, left to my own devices, I would get up about 3 in the afternoon and not go to bed until about 3 or 4 in the morning. That would be my preferred sleep cycle. But as someone that's had to adapt every day of my life, every night of my life, in order to function in kind of the regular world, seeing a mattress or a sleep system, a mattress, pillows, the various things that go into an environment conducive to sleep, seeing that marketed directly to someone that has a sleep disorder, and there are millions of us out there, that would have grabbed my attention. And in fact, that's how I marketed mattresses for about 7 years that I sold them. Specifically to people that had sleep disorders, and I could speak to that situation, I could speak to that condition. I think it came across in my product description and my product information. I had other information, deeper research information available off the Amazon site that people could go and see before they made a buying decision. And I was very successful in selling, mattresses. And there was nothing I did differently about these mattresses. These were generic, non-branded mattresses, but they were selected with specific qualities in mind. So I was genuine when I said, hey, these have helped me, maybe they'll help you. But this was a solution just waiting to be found by a lot of people who have sleep problems. So, you know, you really have to dig down. You have to think about what it is you're doing, and when you think you found a niche, ask 2 or 3 other people if they can think of a way to narrow it down any further. And when everybody agrees that you can't take it down any further, you might be onto something at that point. Um, I look around at all these big product categories, sporting goods being a giant one, but then you look at golf, you look at fishing, uh, which are marketers' favorites because there's so much stuff you can sell into that space. People are passionate about golf, they're passionate about fishing, they'll do anything they can to catch bigger fish, they'll do anything they can to take strokes off their swing. Uh, Strokes off their swing. That makes no sense. Strokes off their game, excuse me. And these are great product categories to be associated with, but you need to, again, really niche down. Be the guy who sells golf bags, but not necessarily all golf bags. Maybe sell the golf bags designed for a par 3 course where you're carrying around maybe 4 or 5 clubs. Small golf bags. Don't go for the cheapest thing you can find. Sell a really nice golf bag to someone who wants to play par 3 golf. Trust me, I'm not a golfer, but I have played 1,000 rounds of par 3 golf in my life, and there are doctors and lawyers that take Wednesdays off to go play par 3 golf, and they would love a $200 golf bag that holds 4 clubs. If it can be customized, maybe get their an initial nameplate on it, something of that nature. You've got a market there that can easily afford what it is you're selling, and that would really find it to be a novelty item, and it would be kind of an upscale item. It's something for them to have bragging rights about. So niche down. Don't just do golf bags. Do golf bags for people that are playing a certain kind of golf. Do gloves. There's no reason. Again, I'm not a golfer, so I am talking out of my ass a little bit here, but I'm just saying there's no reason you couldn't take an existing golf glove and say, okay, we're going to, I'm going to market this to people playing par 3 golf. And what will happen then is that people that are playing par 3 golf, you can focus your ad budget and your ad spend onto those people. So they're going to be given basically, concierge level ads served up to them for their specific golfing needs. And that doesn't happen very often. If you're going to sell tennis equipment, you don't want to sell tennis, squash, racquetball, pickleball, and there's probably some other kind of balls in there I haven't even heard of yet. But you could go in there and you could sell just pickleball equipment. I started a brand in 2020. I had never played pickleball once in my life. I have played exactly 2 games of pickleball as we speak, but I have made millions of dollars off of selling pickleball equipment. I started a brand in 2020 based on just observations at a local pickleball court during COVID lockdowns, and I had never heard of the sport, but I went out there and I watched people from every age group imaginable playing this sport. And I thought it was a good opportunity. I threw some money at it just to see what would happen, and it turned out really, really well. I don't know if racquetball is as big now as it used to be. Around here in North Carolina, it used to be a major sport. All the racquetball courts I'm aware of have closed down now, so maybe that's a dead fish. I don't know. But in other parts of the country, that might not be the case. And speaking of dead fish, horrible segue, but if you wanted to sell fishing equipment, everybody wants to sell to the guy with a bass boat and a big pickup truck. There's all kinds of stuff you can sell there, no doubt. But don't forget the guys up north who are going ice fishing. Sell ice fishing equipment. Sell ice fishing equipment, that's directly related to catching pike. I think that's one of the fish that they catch. Sell ice fishing equipment that's specifically directed at catching lake trout. You can really niche down into these subjects. And if it's ice fishermen that you want to sell, don't forget the little ice fishing cabins they've got. Those cabins have all kinds of needs. You know, I'm actually thinking of products, and I'm like, I don't want to tell people what products to sell because I might want to sell them. But there's all kinds of things that people who are sitting on the ice in a little cabin or a little hut might want or might need. And you can niche down into that category, because some of these ice cabins are really nice. Excuse me, there was somebody over here walking right by me. Some of these ice cabins are really nice. They have electricity, they have television, satellite dishes, the whole bit. Some of them aren't so nice. So you can pick, you know, what level of ice fishermen that you want to sell. You know, certainly people that are in the more rustic cabins, they have needs for heat, ways to keep water from freezing, other things from freezing. But there's all kinds of stuff. So you drill down into that subject matter and you find something, a very small niche that maybe just one or two items to start with, but you still have tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people that are prospective customers. And when you drill down that far, your ad spend goes much further, because you can target those ads very specifically, and you're not advertising to a bunch of people that, while they're involved in fishing, they're not involved in the type of fishing that you're selling products into. So it really helps your ad spend. It brings your ACoS way down, and your return on investment goes way up. That's one of the secrets of being profitable on Amazon or being profitable on any online platform, is to get it to the point where you can target your ideal customer as specifically as you possibly can. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Just want to share these thoughts with you while I was thinking about them, and we'll see you in the next video. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe. It's completely free. I'll never charge for subscriptions. So go right ahead, hit that button, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.